Tom Abercrombie's name right on that list, which is fantastic to see as well. Kyron Galloway been getting some extra back in after the birth of his son Levi, so congratulations to Anthony and Jenna.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Corey, let's take a quick look at Tom Digba, who are family members and whatnot, who are in the venue tonight. Some cool scenes pre-game. They were trying to rev themselves up in the warm-ups, and they look up for the contest here, the Breakers. There's 4 wins for the season. Perhaps tonight might be the night that they make it number 5. They've already beaten Brisbane once. They played in round 6, and that was the Breakers' first win of the season. There's Seaver, 6, and that was the Breakers' first win of the season. There's Seaver. Stole it away. He leads the competition in that stat.
And Seaver needs a big one as well. When you're struggling for points, he's one that can answer the call. Now, he didn't die wondering. He was 0 of 13 in Devonport, and he's going to have all. Now, he didn't die wondering. He was 0 of 13 in Devonport, and he's going to have to do a lot better as well to keep that scoreboard ticking over.
And of the 0 of 13, he was 0 of 9 from the 3. On the boards for Brisbane with the minutes received.
Rounds 14 and 15 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Celebrating the Indigenous and Māori cultures of Australia and New Zealand. This match tonight being played on Lutruwita land.
With these players out, he gets more opportunity, but he can stretch the floor, and he's been great this season at doing that. But we know across his career he has the capacity to play at a very high level.
Jeng's floater short. Jeng's floater short. Lamar Patterson, who's quiet against Melbourne, only 10 points, just couldn't get his groove on, Corey, just couldn't get himself into the game.
He tried, but they played some tough defense one-on-one on him. And Ellie, Jack White, sometimes Shea Ellie just pressuring him, and he was not able to get off. Jack Salt puts Brisbane on the board.
Delaney travels.
Oh, hello, behaviour warning, and he's been...
That didn't take long.
Very active in the behaviour warnings, but that's probably a record. We're only a minute and a half in and already caught one. But once the game actually starts and you're into it, whether there's no fans or 15,000 fans, throughout the course of the game, you're concentrating so much. It's not as big a factor as you might think. Now, when you're rolling in your home, like you are with the Red Army in Perth, and you get that momentum, it's not as big a factor as you might think. Now, when you're rolling in your home, like you are with the Red Army in Perth, and you get that momentum, it's not as big a factor as you might think. Now, when you're rolling in your home, like you are with the Red Army in Perth, and you get that momentum, that can really generate it. But when it's an even and neutral territory like this, I think you just start to play, and your normal instincts kick in. And I don't subscribe to the fact that it makes a huge difference once the game and you're playing in the game.
Jeng at the top of the key. Drives on Salt, takes the bump.
It's confidence, but it's right that he picked me up. Picked me up early, so I'm 0 for 2.
Well, you know what, that suburb.
No, that's true. It's a beautiful suburb, though.
Is that in Victoria?
It is. Where my beautiful wife grew up.
Did she?
Yes, I'm true. It's a beautiful suburb, though.
Is that in Victoria?
It is. Where my beautiful wife grew up.
Did she?
Yes, I'm very familiar with it.
Shout out to Melinda. There's no doubt tuning in tonight. Nice pass from Kadee. Frank's had it knocked away.
They only used 7 players the other night, the New Zealand Breakers, so get out and push the tempo would be the plan right from the start, and really executing well. And Frank's side, he rebounds the ball really well, and he's a keeper. He's a keeper, in my view.
I agree, and that's why they need to make him a focal point. For me, almost every possession, with Sobey not on the court. Get that man some touches. He's too talented to have not as many touches and not be a focal point offensively for this team.
Now foul on Rob Lowe. That's his second.
The screen not allowing him to get stationary, but you've got to make some adjustments, because any of those that movement, and they're going to pick it up as Jason Kadee just walks, smiles on the faces, and there looked like there was this anticipation where Corey even was suggesting that maybe New Zealand might get this one, but I'm not so sure we've seen that type of response on the floor.
What I need right now is for Peyton Siva and Randall to get this thing going and get offensively. Randall to get this thing going and get offensively in control of this game. They need to step up and make plays happen.
Brisbane, on the other hand, look at the way they're moving the ball. Franks, nice find for Terrell Harrison.
And we'll just put the defense there, just a token defense so we can see where we're supposed to be screening. That's what that looked like. Highly reactive by the New Zealand Breakers.
Siva misses from the elbow.
By the New Zealand Breakers.
Siva misses from the elbow. They are dead last in the competition for points conceded per game, the Breakers. As Patterson gets past Timmins, it doesn't score. It's knocked out of bounds.
Sorry, Stewie.
I know how much it means to Taswegians, mate.
That's a critical
so Siva and Randall obviously carrying a big load, but my question's on Finn Delaney tonight. When your team's in trouble, your franchise players have to step up, and I want to see a lot more from him. It's they've got to start getting desperate.
Spot on, and he's been a little down this season compared to certainly last season, where he was the second-team All-Star. Compared to certainly last season, where he was the second-team All-Star.
He's lost the handle that time.
And you're right, he does need to step up.
Is Kadee off target?
Right, he does need to step up.
Is Kadee off target? Rebound Abercrombie. His first game since round one with an ankle issue. Siva aggressive. Couldn't finish off. Ankle issue. Siva aggressive. Couldn't finish off. Brisbane are playing that up-tempo style that you were talking about pre-game, Drew. Patterson draws a foul on Delaney.
Well, I'd like to assume it starts to play on your mind, Stewie.
You'd have to think so at some stage, but look, what options do you turn to right now? Like 1 point in the first 5 minutes of the game, it's desperate states. Abercrombie into the game. Hopefully he can pick this up.
Only you would get away with that. Only you would get away with that. Only you would get away with that.
Stewie and I go back a long way. He knows I'm only joking.
As Delaney scores from underneath the game for New Zealand.
Taking 5.5, or close to 5.5 minutes.
Patterson thought he was fouled. Here's Tom Digba in for his first minutes. We highlighted him pre-game. He's athletic. Didn't finish off with the left. We highlighted him pre-game. He's athletic. Didn't finish off with the left hand.
You know, they've been let off the hook. Brisbane have actually come down and missed some that you'd normally expect them to make.
Just a tip in from Jeng.
You know, they've been let off the hook. Brisbane have actually come down and missed some that you'd normally expect them to make.
Just a tip in from Jeng.
Attack the old boards. He gets a tip in.
They scored off their last two possessions, New Zealand. They get it back to a more manageable 7-point difference. Patterson's pass intercepted by Delaney, and that'll be an unsportsmanlike. Back to a more manageable 7-point difference. Patterson's pass intercepted by Delaney, and that'll be an unsportsmanlike.
And when there's no one ahead of you, I don't think there was any choice that sends Delaney to the line. Not only did you get a couple of
Possession.
that's it, and you're right back in it.
But it starts on the defensive end. They've played better.
Season in charge. They've had some good moments. Their 23-point win over Illawarra in round 10. Thought that might have almost been the turning point for them, but not to be the case. Siva knocks down the three.
He would be ecstatic to see that 3-ball go down, a shot go down. He's too pivotal to this team for them to have a chance to win. He needs to tick the scoreboard over.
And no coincidence here, they've scored their last 8 points. Tom Abercrombie's been on the floor as part of it. Timmins blocks that shot.
Great rim protection.
Work their offense, because he's right. Like I said, they had some good looks. They just didn't make them.
They're shooting themselves.
And he gets called for shuffling the feet.
Well, the Breakers, Rasmus Bark into the game, playing his 50th game for the Breakers. Seaver dropped it off inside for Timmins. He dropped the ball. Seaver dropped it off inside for Timmins. He dropped the ball. And Cadiz away for Brisbane. Uses Krebs, and that pass sloppy.
Good
Active, nice block shot.
Minutes. There's the skipper, Tom Abercrombie. Has played one of their last 24 games for the New Zealand Breakers, going back to last season as well. Issues with a back, with an ankle, with a side. He's been desperately unlucky. Krebs bombs away. Has had his struggles from outside this season, only 31%. That's an important knockdown.
Great penetration and kick. Jason Cadiz has been playing some good basketball in the absence of Sobey.
Here's Digba with a hand on the passing lane. Clock down to 8 for Seaver. Guarded by Franks. Little floater misses out. Galloway, offensive rebound. Clock down to 8 for Seaver. Guarded by Franks. Little floater misses out. Galloway, offensive rebound. Clock down to 8 for Seaver. Guarded by Franks. Little floater misses out. Galloway, offensive rebound. It gives the Breakers another look. Seaver for 3 this time, misses everything. Just not happening for him. 1 of 5 after 0 from 13 on Saturday for Peyton Seaver. (15-9) at MyState Bank Arena in Tasmania. Krebs kicks it out for Deng Deng. That's no good. Chasing round. Krebs kicks it out for Deng Deng. That's no good. Chasing Randall. Pulls in the rebound for New Zealand. Only the 1 field goal attempt so far. That's a nice drive.
Nice drive. He got to get himself going.
Missed that shot, but it's one of those ones that, as a coach, it's a bad shot. Not so much because of get it to the rim. It's one of those ones you just got to focus in on the smaller details. Last couple of games, he's averaged across that. He's had 21 points at 60%, so averaging a little over double figures the last couple of games at a really good rate.
Digba blocked. Galloway blocked. Cadiz baseline. Nice move. No good. Cadiz baseline. Nice move. No good.
They don't stop you. Take it all the way. There you go.
There's Delaney at the other end.
Stops and a little bit more energy. Good transition opportunity for Delaney, who he's had his struggles this season, and
yes, he
also
has.
even more recently. So he'd be feeling better to see that one go through. Had his struggles this season, and
yes,
also
has.
even more recently. So he'd be feeling better to see that one go through.
He needs a big one tonight.
Less than 90 seconds before quarter time. Here's Anthony Trimmick checking in. We mentioned the birth of his first child, Levi. Target with his first 3 attempt. We mentioned the birth of his first child, Levi. Target with his first 3 attempt. Jing saw that he was guarded by Harrison, took it straight at him and scored. And the Breakers gave him the room that he needed as well.
He's up to 5 points.
Tied away at 15. Patterson forces it in at the other end. His first points of the evening. Gives Brisbane the lead back by 2. Randall threw it away. Jeng had to come in and rescue the play for 3.
And I mean, nothing but net. You knew how he's up to 8. Young fella come to hoop. 3 or 4 from the field. Love to see it.
Bullets with the last play of the quarter. Nice pick and roll for Harrison. Puts the lid on. And for those youngsters involved. Interesting first quarter.
No, it was ebbs and flows. Brisbane got out to a flyer, and to New Zealand's credit, they were able to work their way back into it. Turnovers.
Oh, young fellas hooping. We're going to have a good...
He's certainly showing a lot of confidence.
They running plays for him. First play out of the timeout, as they should. He's the guy that's ball.
Pass there by Patterson. Yeah, the other thing about Ousmane Dieng as well is he's smart enough to look at the bench and knows that the coach doesn't have a whole lot of alternatives. And when you see that, you can get some confidence that the coach doesn't have a whole lot of alternatives. And when you see that, you can get some confidence. You know, you make a few mistakes, you're not going to be under the same level of scrutiny. And
you got to play me, coach.
You have no choice, coach.
I can make a mistake. You're not going to pull me.
That's it. So that helps. Scrutiny.
You got to play me, coach.
You have no choice, coach.
I can make a mistake. You're not going to pull me.
That's it. So that helps. Choice, coach.
I can make a mistake. You're not going to pull me.
That's it. So that helps.
No Yanni Wetzel, no Will McDowell-White, no Hugo Besson.
To make sure that he's okay.
Finn Delaney also sitting down.
Get a ball to the young fella.
He's got 10 points, the French next star. Not that time, though. Not that time, though. Drimmick flies in for the rebound. Brisbane lead by 1. Early stages in this second quarter. Final game of round 14. It's a short rest. We're back on Thursday for Melbourne and Perth at John Cain Arena.
Good help defense right there by Randall.
Back on Thursday for Melbourne and Perth at John Cain Arena.
Good help defense right there by Randall stepping in.
Bark runs the floor. Play through Dieng once more. Over the top of Salt, that's hard. Play through Dieng once more. Over the top of Salt, that's hard. Kadee, as Corey said, has really stepped up in these last 3 games with Nathan Sobey. 15, 13 and 17 are his numbers.
Good backdoor cut.
Salt found Drimmick.
Ousmane Dieng just fell asleep on the weak side. He was watching the ball. And offensively, he's getting it done, though. 4 of 8 from the field.
That one jumps out.
8 from the field.
That one jumps out. And Kadee got away from Randall. That's too easy.
Great take, way to turn that going. 5-point lead to Brisbane. Kadee with 7 in the game, 3 on 6. Shooting. That man needs to get it going. Randall. Shooting. That man needs to get it going. Randall.
They've had their chances from close range, New Zealand, in this second quarter. Salt draws Rob Lowe's third.
To find himself in foul trouble on a regular basis.
Salt was good when the teams played in round 6. Had 10 points on that night, 5 rebounds. Brisbane have scored the last 7 points in the game. Delaney back in. Good find for Lowe.
To be called, I think it would have, because it was a pretty obvious one from where we're sitting. But a good season. He's scored double figures now for the 3rd game in a row, and previously a good season. He's scored double figures now for the 3rd game in a row, and previously RJ Hampton was the next start, and he never scored double figures in 3 straight games. So he's stepping up to the plate, although he takes a spell at the moment.
Patterson lost the ball.
To spell at the moment.
Patterson lost the ball.
7 turnovers now for the Brisbane Bullets.
Seaver back in. Lowe had good position down low. Had to finish over the top of Patterson. Lowe had good position down low. Had to finish over the top of Patterson. He's staying out there with 3 fouls. And Randall strips Kadee. And Randall strips Kadee. Numbers against him up ahead. He's happy to take his chances.
It didn't look like a lot in that from Jason Kadee. When it first happened in real time, it looked like there was the foul, but on replay, it looked like he got a lot of the ball. Just good strength by Randall to be able to go up and finish through.
Isaiah Moss trying to dribble through the D. Kicks it back out. Isaiah Moss trying to dribble through the D. Kicks it back out. Isaiah Moss trying to dribble through the D. Kicks it back out. Patterson's worn that one in the face.
It's been here long enough to know that it should know a little bit of the rhyme and slang.
I should. You know the best way to find out, to learn? Just sit in an Aussie pub with some old heads. Old heads.
That's a bad turnover for Brisbane. Randall to the other end. Points are waved away. That'll be an offense. Dan Shamir is wearing that timber out on the sidelines. Digba trapped it halfway. Things are tense in this second quarter. Bullets have lost 4 of their last 5, but they've been all bar 1 very winnable games.
Pretty solid for big portions of it. Now you look at the final points that Melbourne United were able to get, and it doesn't necessarily reflect that, but like you say, a lot of them come from indefensible situations because of the high volume of turnovers.
Shuan Xinglu into the game.
Situations because of the high volume of turnovers.
Shuan Xinglu into the game. 7'5" Chinese national player. He couldn't drag in that rebound at that time.
Depending on the angle, where the official is, and how the different interpretation it is, we say.
It's Randall on the line. Let's get courtside to Anthony Stewart.
Yeah, guys, I think we all know it, but
I actually think he's taken it a few levels the past 6 or 7 games. Oh, now they've called it. That's just a poor decision by Big Lou.
His first of the game. Things tied away at 26. The Breakers can take the lead off this possession. Randall for Abercrombie. Shot blocked. Nice hands by Isaiah Moss.
Real good. Not easy. Getting that on-the-job experience.
And Digba blocks that shot.
Yeah. Well, scoring has been tough for both these teams.
Struggled.
Moss up top has Franks. Turns and fires off the front of the rim. Moss up top has Franks. Turns and fires off the front of the rim. Randall lost the ball. Buck got in under the feet of Lou. Got it back for New Zealand. Delaney, nice spin. That time got out of control. Tried his best, Kyle. Delaney, nice spin. That time got out of control. Tried his best Kyle Adnam impersonation. Good finish.
Euro.
Moss, the Euro. He misses as well.
With too much English on that. Could have
Impersonation. Good
beautiful.
finish.
Euro.
Moss, the Euro. He misses as well.
With too much English on that. Could have went straight up and got that.
Nice lob play. Three and a half minutes before half-time. Fine from Lou.
That's a good action to a UCLA action, and just the mere fact they had man and ball movement the last few times they've done that, they've been able to find ways to get some cheaper looks down on the offensive end.
Delaney scores from underneath. Delaney scores from underneath. He's starting to work his way into the game now. 7 points on 3 and 3. He's had his struggles. He's only averaged 7 points a game in his last 4. He's a lot better than that. Tough. Points are going to count.
Talented as he is, how are you not running offense to get him the ball? Especially when...
Get him more involved. He's averaging almost 17 points a game at a good clip, 45% and 8% from the three-point line. So
if the offense dries up, just run plays for him.
Rebound from the three-point line. So
if the offense dries up, just run plays for him.
Rebound from the three-point line. So
if the offense dries up, just run plays for him.
Rebound out by Delaney. Rasmus Barkett, his first field goal attempt of the game. He played 29 minutes on Saturday and didn't have a field goal attempt. It's a new NBL record. Seaver. It's a new NBL record. Seaver. It's just hard work for him. Deng Deng to the other end of the floor, draws a foul.
Good pass by.
Necessarily there was a anxiety or panic about the way he was going about it. So in the competition in score play.
It's 1 of 6. Brisbane up 3. Galloway gets Abercrombie involved. Nice play. He had his team more organised. Showed them the way defensively.
Been a long time since he's played round 1.
That's better. And Patterson receives back up top. Guarded by Delaney. Shot clock's late. Patterson forced into a tough one. The lead is back to 4 again for Brisbane. Seaver, he's not going to stop trying. Hands off to Abercrombie. And Delaney threw it straight to Dan Shamir. Trimming. Back into the team tonight for Brisbane. Uses Franks, who likes to back in this situation.
It's going to be an offensive foul, I reckon.
Frank's competition for rebounds. It's been a hell of a find, Corey.
That's the guy. Need the pass in transition for Deng Deng to get to the free throw line. Now he goes to the free throw line again.
Yeah, man,
Get the man the ball.
Well, I like the action, and they heard you, Corey, because they ran a little flex cut for him into that low post, and initially they were trying to post him up. He got pushed off the block, but when he catches it out, he can put it to the deck and just powers his way through to the basket.
Good defense right there by Deng Deng.
And they have been for most of the game. The exception when Big Lou was in there. And they've got the lineup on the floor, the Brisbane Bullets, to allow them to switch everything.
Kadit gets Patterson involved, forced into another tough shot. Offensive rebound is a good result. Kadit gets Patterson involved, forced into another tough shot. Offensive rebound is a good result. Kadit gets Patterson involved, forced into another tough shot. Offensive rebound is a good result for Brisbane. Deng Deng misses. Defensive rebound is a good result for Brisbane. Ding Ding misses.
Had 29 field goal attempts, only 7 of them coming from the three-point line. And what we've seen recently with the teams and their alliance, Isaiah Moss, now he's a mystery. He should be able to be putting up way better numbers. If memory serves me correct, went to Iowa, might have sent putting up way better numbers. If memory serves me correct, went to Iowa, might have sent last season at Kansas. And there is just a fella putting up way better numbers. If memory serves me correct, went to Iowa, might have sent last season at Kansas. And there is just a fella.
Is Truly and Corey that their bench scoring is almost non-existent at the moment. They had 6 points off the bench on Saturday. They've only had 3 points off the bench in the first half.
Well, they don't have a lot of options coming off the bench. That's their problem. They've got 3 very significant pieces out of their lineup.
That's not going to help New Zealand's cause.
And the form continues in this one. 10 points, 4 of 7 from the field.
He's taking that responsibility on. Here he is again. He's taking that responsibility on. Here he is again. It's Patterson involved. He goes back to Kadee at the top of the key. Dream start, points in the game.
Well, this is dangerous. When Jason Kadee starts to see it like this, he can be very proactive. So this is dangerous. When Jason Kadee starts to see it like this, he can be very proactive. So if I'm the Brisbane Bullets, I'm putting him in some on-balls and just checking out hot, or just let him give and go and get to the cup and realize. Then, sure, you might have some limitations with your rotations, but that's no excuse for what we've seen to start this one. And this is reflective of what we saw at the start of the game. And the New Zealand Breakers need to figure this out quick, or this could get away from them real soon.
9 straight points by Kadee.
Brisbane have dialed up the intensity on the defensive end. Jeng, feet set, off target. Dialed up the intensity on the defensive end. Jeng, feet set, off target. Jason Kadee up to 16 points. 8 of them have come in the first 90 seconds. Moss getting involved.
12.
Second half, in the first minute and a half, he reeled off 9 straight points.
Breakers need a bucket. 12 unanswered points in this quarter. That's turned over.
They're playing way off you. Got to step in and let it go.
And he coming off the bounce. A lot of cutting action to the basket, off the ball, to find a cheap basket. Anything cheap's got to come from that individual play. Coming off the dribble.
Patterson, everyone else has been scoring. He wants a piece of the action. Patterson, everyone else has been scoring. He wants a piece of the action. Seaver trying to get in deep. Breaks a run. And it's fair to say, Corey, that Peyton Seaver needed that.
Definitely needed that. The 2 buckets he needed. 2 buckets that he has in this game, he desperately needed.
Sort of not a half effort, but a token effort kind of by Franks to contest that last one. That's what happens when you get 20 points up, and that's what in that last time out, not trying to be complacent.
Seventh on the table, the Bullets. 6 wins and 11 losses.
You can see, you can change the complexion of it, and they've got enough to test most of the opponents, and been a little unlucky in some of their contests, but there, but not quite. But there, but not quite.
Kadee from the top of the key. Changed his mind halfway through there.
A couple of three balls and got to the rim for an M1. And Kadee's got to shoot that.
Low back out there with 3 fouls. Low back out there with 3 fouls. See the 2 of 8 in the game. And Moss is starting to get himself more involved and look more comfortable. Oh, that's not going to help, though.
Big time program. There's not too many bigger programs than that. And to put up those sort of numbers, I mention it because it just shows you how tough. Just because you've had those decent numbers at a real big college program, it's different when you're now with the big boys and playing against men.
Ain't a cupcake league, Gaze.
That's right. And he's with the big boys and playing against men.
Ain't a cupcake league, Gaze.
That's right. And he's still learning his craft, the international game.
Kadee wide open.
Oh my goodness, Jason. Oh my goodness, Jason Kadee. 12 points in the quarter. 3 of 3 from the 3 in this third.
He is cooking. It's a 22-point lead to the Bullets.
Beautiful.
Underestimate that. He could have just bullied his way to the basket, but he knew that Kadee is white hot and nice kick-out pass. But it's a nice little play with a lob pass to Lowe. And so for him, knowing that he doesn't have to hand it off to Sobey and get others involved, he calls his own number a lot more regularly, and he's producing.
He also has 4 assists tonight, and as a team, they have 16. So that ball, real good teamwork tonight.
16 assists on 20 made field goals. Ding, ding. Was able.
And it was going to be down in the last second or 2 of the shot clock, I think. So, on it, but you look at this scoreline, 35 points. Lowest scoring team in the competition, and considerable explanation for that is having some super talent not available.
Honestly, Gaze, you have Randall there and you have Seaver. That's when your impulse look at each other and say, listen. 30 shots or 30 points, whatever come first.
Now, Seaver hasn't had a good one. 2 of 8 from the field.
I'm letting it go.
A couple of turnovers. I know, but you got to design it that way too. And with those other guys out, it's probably spread. Their structure has been geared to be spread a little bit more than just focusing in on a couple of players. But I agree, you need to make some adjustments to try and find a way to get tonight. 2 of 8.
When you know key players are out and you are a key player, you got to be ready to go. That's the job.
Nothing easy comes to him. Nothing easy in these sets. It's all coming off the bounce. Not a lot of action away from the ball. This league is pretty tough in the way in which it can defend. Throughout the world, this league plays better defense than most. And sometimes you see some of the offense, it's not as pretty as you might see in other places, but the defense and the scouting and the strategy that goes in makes it hard.
Good trimming. Little drop off was clever for Deng. If you want to really drill down, it's New Zealand 4, Jason Kadee 12 this quarter.
And normally I wouldn't say going to his own defense, but right now just repeating what they're doing is not going to get it done. I think they need to look at a change, and that's a tough shot. But if they're the types of shots you're going to rely on to get back into this, it's hard to see how they're going to make a fist of it.
13 points in 19 minutes.
2 of 5 tonight from outside.
I'll be happy with my man finishing with 20.
Yep. I think they will be too. Trimmick is fouled while he's shooting, Andrew.
Oh, my word, I was.
Oh, well done.
Had to, on a couple of them, just had to use some assistance to make sure the timing didn't interfere with some very important obligations. No more important than help out and
just speed the process up a little.
Correct. And absolutely would not have missed it for the world.
Kick it courtside to Anthony Stewart.
And Delaney, 19 points between them. Must-win game, or should be battling a little bit harder. But I agree with you guys. Like Delaney, 19 points between them. Must-win game, or should be battling a little bit harder. But I agree with you guys. Like
you're away from home for a long period of time. Your wins are few or far between, and you're playing in an empty stadium. This is where, you know, in the moment, but there's other context around the New Zealand Breakers right now. And when the going gets tough, it's hard to find that lift when you don't have that. Randall, for mine, is another one. He's only had 4 field goal attempts, 1 of 4 from the field.
We got no other options. Coach, I'm letting it go.
He's got to have it to let it go.
Bark kicks it out.
Got no other options. Coach, I'm letting it go.
He's got to have it to let it go.
Bark kicks it out.
Got no other options. Coach, I'm letting it go.
He's got to have it to let it go.
Bark kicks it out for Randall. Got Trimick up in the air. Misses the layup. Less than 3 minutes before three-quarter time. It's been an absolute blitz from the Bullets this quarter. Sitting on the bench watching. Jeng. Trying to create something for himself. Nice move for the next start.
And also, it needs to be in traffic with that length, go up and just flush. Light frame at the moment, gets in the weight room, and you can see a couple.
Second game leading scorer.
Had a stack of college offers. They were coming thick and fast, but chose the NBL's Next Stars program. Why did he do that, Corey?
He knows 1 year, 1 good year, playing in this NBL. To get him to the next level, prepare him best for the NBA.
And he did it because it's not a cupcake league. That's where I was. That's where I was trying to.
Yeah, I thought
And he did it because it's not a cupcake league. That's where I was. That's where I was trying to.
Yeah, I thought I was with you, but I didn't want to rain on Corey's.
And because I want one of those shirts. Bark for 3. Any other?
I want to rain on Corey's.
And because I want one of those shirts. Bark for 3. Any other future Next Stars that you'd like to see as part of the program?
I'd like to see Bronny James. Bring him down here. I'll personally babysit. Make sure he all right.
I'm not sure that's a good thing.
I'll make sure he all right.
I reckon he might have some resources that he might be able to fix. Sometimes in a very demonstrative way. That this league has the capacity to do some good things. So if you don't want to go to that college route, in this due consideration.
100%. We've seen the case studies, as I continuously say. We've seen Josh Giddey. We've seen Melo. We've seen the case studies, as I continuously say. We've seen Josh Giddey. We've seen Melo. We've seen RJ. To come away, and listen, right now, as an American, America ain't the best place to be at the moment. So why don't you just leave and come somewhere to focus solely on basketball?
Well, it's true, but
it's a fact. As an American, America ain't the best place to be at the moment. So why don't you just leave and come somewhere to focus solely on basketball?
Well, it's true, but
it's a fact. Leave and come somewhere to focus solely on basketball.
Well, it's true, but
it's a fact.
I think anywhere where I shouldn't say anywhere, a lot of countries, if you've got a family that's worth $1 billion, you can generally find some good wherever you live. It's not everything, but it would certainly help your development and where he is at as well. So good on you for floating it out there. I'm not confident it'll happen, but it's certainly worth exploring.
Worth exploring. Worth exploring. Gotta shoot your shot.
Absolutely. Like Randall, and what are you saying about Siva? Don't die wondering.
Don't die wondering.
Have a look and see what's out there as Lamar Patterson strolls in.
Like the Adelaide 36ers yesterday, Corey, in there. 84 field goal attempts.
Wow. That has to be a record in a 40-minute game.
It was. For the season, it was anyway. Was on fire. Just took the game upon himself to make a difference and make something happen. And here we are now. 64-43. Patterson, nice finish. Has 8 points.
Well, it's almost deja vu from a play just a couple of actions ago. Of early looks, open looks. And when he sees those go in, his confidence is sky high. And this defence by the New Zealand Breakers just nowhere near where it needs to be as far as being disruptive or making Brisbane uncomfortable.
That's better for the Breakers. Nice move from Rand.
It's still that type of action, I think, where you're seeing it away from the ball as much as you do.
Take us into the timeouts and the coach's mindset. We're sitting here saying that Randall needs to see more of the ball, etc., etc. The obvious question is why don't they? Why don't they?
Well, one thing you've got to give some credit to the defence, for starters.
Why don't they?
Well, one thing you've got to give some credit to the defence, for starters. But also the system that you have is geared with in mind, as we see Delaney comes down, is geared in mind to have those other... System that you have is geared with in mind, as we see Delaney comes down, is geared in mind to have those other guys around you. And when you take them out, you don't just easily replace two of your leading and second leading scorer on the team. And the roles and the personnel that you've got to do those things is a little harder. So you do have to make some adjustments for that to happen. But to do those things is a little harder. So you do have to make some adjustments for that to happen. And that's hard to do on the fly. They had a game a couple of days ago in Launceston and don't have a lot of practice time. There's a travel.
They've got the goods to shoot from full court to win $100,000. The details are on your screen right now with thanks to the Latrobe Financial Sharp Shot. Great supporters of the NBL and basketball in this country. Just great people, Latrobe Financial. This country, just great people, Latrobe Financial. They like Oscar the Grouch, they're just sticking their head above the bin.
I got a question. We know Melbourne United in. Who does not make the top four?
It's going to be an interesting one to figure out. And I reckon over the next 2 or 3 weeks on the road to the Phoenix yesterday. But I don't know. There's the bottom line of that one just yet. But I think we'll find out in the next 4 or 5 games that we see from all these teams.
Well, Melbourne and Perth play Thursday. That's the first
5 games that we see from all these teams.
Well, Melbourne and Perth play Thursday. That's the first game in round 15.
I'm with Corey. I don't think that one's as critical for those two teams because I've got both of those two.
Be in the top 4, right? All right, so Southeast Melbourne, Phoenix, or
Yeah, that's a... Sure anyone would have the exact answer to that. We'll all be guessing.
Nice take by Moss.
It's no foul. I think it's going to happen because Franks can pick and pop. Yep. He can pick and dive. Kadee can shoot it from anywhere. And when they're switching like New Zealand are, I almost think that that's something that perhaps they could what they can bring to the table.
It's interesting to read just before we went to air tonight. Kane Pittman, one of our great mates from the crossover,
and the jump,
and the
shout out to Kane. Bring that man back, Gaze again. You said it first, but Peter Hooley said something about that too.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
Right.
Shout out to Hools.
Well, I think it'll help. I think that'll help McCarron. He's playing big minutes.
So, how do you know it's Adelaide? You know it's Adelaide. That was in the... Oh. I was like, how did you know that?
Didn't I just say that as well?
No, you just said a team. I
thought he said Adelaide.
Did you? I didn't hear it.
There's Franks. That's what I'm talking about. But I think with Casper, 1, he's familiar with the league. 2, McCarron, it takes the ball out of his hands. They haven't looked the same with his when he's got to lock so many minutes at the point when he's not available on the point. They look the same with his when. He's got to lock so many minutes at the point when he's not available on the point. They give him a rest. The team doesn't look as smooth. So I think it'll free him up a little bit to have another guy that can play the one and the two or the two.
Get to the NBA, but play. Because the players that are legit in this league that go to the NBA, they're getting on the court and producing.
He's had a taste of the association, played 7 games with Orlando last season. Also won the G League title with the Lakeland Magic, which is Orlando's affiliate. Really keen to get back there.
Talking about being there, I go back to when I was born.
You were there when you were born, when?
I was there, but my dad wasn't as ding-ding. This is one, but my dad wasn't.
You put Wetzel and Besson into this squad, they're going to win some games in the back end of the season.
They certainly are. It's a good point, Stewie. Absolutely. And the Jack Jumpers at 8 at 9. We've probably been a bit disrespectful. They are still well and truly in the mix.
Nice take by the young fella. Strong move.
What happens? They only need to win a few more, and they've ticked pretty much every
exceeded
box.
expectations.
So they've got it. I wouldn't say they've got it going. Expectations are high, and they want to do as well as what they can. But just to be this competitive, I think is exceeding a lot of people's. And they want to do as well as what they can. But just to be this competitive, I think is exceeding a lot of people's expectations. Annoying defense that they play, and we saw that they're capable of exploding from the three-point line.
2 home.
I'm not sure they're going to be able to produce another 20.
You ready for this?
Had a few questions tonight.
I got one that's good.
Speak on it.
He's had a haircut, so he's got.
I'm feeling good. There you go. I got clarity.
Yep.
I'm going to say these names, and you tell me who does not make first team All-NBA. You ready?
Yeah.
Vic Law, Mitch Creek.
Nice knockdown, Isaiah Moss.
Who does not make first team All-NBA?
Wow, that's a.
There you go. We're going to ride that out in the sunset. We riding that one out.
Well, I think Adams misses out.
What?
That's actually, well, if you look at the start of the season, Adams, but you're actually, he was hurt, missing games, and it took a couple of games to find his way. But right now, he's as good as anyone in the competition. So,
Best point guard in the league?
I think we might have to competition. So,
Best point guard in the league?
I think we might have to expand it to an all-star 6. Can you tie? What if there's a tie? Has there ever been a tie and they've had to put 6 in? No. With the voting? No. You sure? Probably
Twitter.
come down to where their teams end up. They're all going to be pretty good.
Told you it was good.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
I'm going to post that on Twitter right now. Leave it to the...
4:41 left in this one. Franks has looked outstanding tonight. He's been a class above.
He's an elite player in our league. You can see him. He's a championship-winning team. He's so unselfish. He's out there. He gets his, and he gets it efficiently, and prepared to make the extra pass and rebounds. He's a good, elite rebounder in our league.
The loss of Vic Law really hurt the Brisbane Bullets. He's been a fabulous replacement.
Could not have scripted a better replacement. Yep. Well done, Sam McKinnon.
Replacement.
Could not have scripted a better replacement. Yep. Well done, Sam McKinnon and their team to come up with him. Self, not at the official, so just wanted him to tone it down for the, I don't want to be upsetting.
That's right. .258. All set up on the back of a brilliant third quarter.
Yeah.
By the Bullets and by Jason Kadek.
Well, you could just see the floodgates opening a little bit towards the end of the second. Oh, my glory-filled days.
From outside. Make that 8. My apologies. 8 of 11, Jason Kadek. From the field, 5 of 6. From outside, Randall responds at the other end. this game is headed for only the second of the season that Brisbane have won by double figures.
7-11 after this one.
Frank's feet set. Got it.
Jason Kadee needed a lot to be desired. 8 of 11 in total from the field for Jason Kadee. So a fantastic performance by him.
Here's Delaney. Franks, we'll look at that in just a second. Seem to have been a bit unhappy with each other. Moss in the corner. We're able to take some confidence out of tonight. Moss in the corner. We're able to take some confidence out of tonight. 4 of 7 from the field. With double figures, which is good for him. Receiver no good. 3. He's in a big-time slump right now, unfortunately. He's in a big-time slump right now, unfortunately. Brisbane throw that one away as we tick down to 2 minutes left. Galloway down the lane. Son of an American dad and an Australian mum. Both played their college basketball at Hawaii.
Yeah.
And an Australian mum. Both played their college basketball at Hawaii.
Yeah.
His brother Jalen doing some good things with the Sydney Kings this season and with the Australian national team recently too. 2 points for Luke. Randall, shot clock down to 9. Relocates to the corner. That's not going to count. 9. Relocates to the corner. That's not going to count. There's Tamari Wigness on the floor for the Bullets as well. Nice take from Digba.
By Finn Delaney, in that they know they're getting beaten. They don't want to tolerate any. Like Finn Delaney would be very, very frustrated. Digba there, he remind now he's different. You just squint your eyes and stretch your imagination a little bit here. But think Terence Ferguson and that way in which that he can got that bounce, gets up and down the floor. Now, I'm trying to think of, it's not as good as him just yet, but not as big either. It's not as good as him just yet, but not as big either. He's tall, I mean, but am I in
no, you know what?
Am I in La La Land?
You may be right, but I wasn't here that year, so I didn't have this. I didn't see.
Oh, you weren't?
I came the year after.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay. Just know he's freakishly athletic.
Terence was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Good finish from Wigness. Part of the NBL's Indigenous round. He's spoken about what this round means to him and to be involved once again. Good to see him out there. Spoken about what this round means to him and to be involved once again. Good to see him out there. Spoken about what this round means to him and to be involved once again. Good to see him out there. Also good to see Max McKinnon out there.
Yes, son of the great Sam.
His second game.
Good to get the shoe off.
Yeah. This is a stone in it or something like that. Not sure how that would have happened. But here's McKinnon. Stripped. Here's McKinnon. Stripped. Receiver fouled by Krebs.
A little surprised me. Jason Kadee equals his highest score for assists for the 5th time with the Bullets. So a great outing.
Really good game.
For the 5th time with the Bullets. So a great outing.
Really good game today.
For Jason Kadee.
McKinnon. That's
Good game today.
For Jason Kadee.
McKinnon. And it's stolen away again by Seaver. Who gets up? Gets up. Little flush to finish off. Little flush to finish off, and then Jeggs picks the pocket too. So a couple of late buckets for New Zealand. The Brisbane Bullets win it by 20.